All right, up next, we're going to try the Craigy Ale. So, Dustin, tell me about the Craigy Ale. Pour me a glass, if you would.
Craigy is it's a Scotch ale, or a type of Scotch ale. It's just over 7%, so it's a little bit bigger. Scotch ales typically have very low hopping rate, so you're not going to taste a whole lot of hop bitterness or hop flavor or aroma. But what you are going to taste is a little bit of smoked malt.
It's as if you can almost smell that smoked before it even gets to my palate.
Absolutely. So we use two different types of smoked malt. The first is a cherrywood smoked malt that's it's actually smoked out and produced out in Wisconsin. And then the other one we import from England, and it's peat smoked malt. Peat smoked malt is what they make Scotch out of.
Okay.
And if you were to taste or smell that particular grain, it would be just like drinking Scotch. And we use a very small percentage in it, but it's still pretty noticeable in the flavor of the beer.
This is delicious. That's the Craigy Ale that you got to sample.
Moo Juice is an oatmeal milk stout that we make. Moo Juice is actually our best seller. About 40% of what we produce year round is Moo Juice. It's been a great beer for us. It's a little surprising coming out of Southwest Minnesota that your best seller is a stout, but it's a big, chocolatey, kind of heavy-bodied beer. Actually, a good winter beer.
All right, that's. Well, why don't you dial me up a Moo Juice and, like you said, a little chocolatey.
Yep, dark chocolate, coffee.
That's very tasty.
We put about 10% oats in here, two different kinds. One is flaked, and that's kind of the oats that we're used to seeing. But then the other one is a toasted naked oat. So they take the hulls off, toast them a little bit, and add that, and we add that as well. The other main or noticeable ingredient is lactose sugar. Hope you're not lactose intolerant.
No.
We put about 85 pounds of lactose sugar in every batch. And lactose is not consumed by the yeast, so it's still in the beer, and it keeps it kind of sweet and sugary and big-bodied. So it's not dry like an Irish stout, like a Guinness or a beer like that. It's kind of sweet and fuller bodied.
This one is called
Whitecap Crystal Wit.
Whitecap Crystal Wit.
Think of this as like half American, half Belgian wheat beer.
That's good because my wife is half Belgian.
Hey!
Yeah.
We use a Belgian yeast, so it's going to give it a little bit of that clove banana flavor.
Okay.
But we filter it, clarify it, so it's going to be clear, like what you'd see more in an American wheat beer.
Okay, I love those Belgian type beers. Yeah, that's very.
So it's light in body. It's not a crazy over the top. There's very little hop flavor or aroma, but there's still flavor in it. It's a light beer with kind of more fruity notes with a hint of cloves. So this is kind of, I hate to use the word drinkable, but this is a pretty drinkable beer. So for somebody that's maybe gatewaying to craft beer, this is a good stepping stone.
So Belgian, is that where the fruit comes out? A lot of Belgian beers fruity?
The yeasts are.
Okay.
The yeasts are kind of atypical. Whereas a Belgian yeast will kind of give some off flavors. You know, they might be phenolics, they might be esters. Esters are kind of the same fruit flavors you find in wine.
Okay.
But they're kind of controllable by temperature and yeast pitching rate and the pressure of your fermenter. You can kind of control those flavors and kind of pick out, well, do I want banana? Do I want strong clove flavor? And so you can kind of work with them. A lot of brewers like Belgian yeast because it's this really neat variable that you can work with.